I'm like, well, I don't think I'm deploying because like I'm in a training unit and here's like where I am. And she's like, oh, okay, that's good. And then a little bit of like what I thought about the geopolitics of everything and how it's like what I think the strategy is and how it could play out. And then she's like, yeah, things like this. And then AI, I just don't know, like one day I think like this is going to be like Terminator's already here and this is going to be the end of the world. And then the next day she's like, this could be really helpful and really great. And our conversation was kind of like, while you guys were right there, it was kind of neat. Because, like, I'm a study of history, and I'm like, well, whatever. Let's have the conversation.
Yeah, no.
Well,
this for me.
Well, kind of. He
Listen,
always needs a notebook.
Kick it off right here, and I'll just throw
everything's
this in
rolling.
Wait,
Anyways.
is that recording? That was not.
That's why I bring you.
And you need anything else for the noise? Like everything's fine.
No, these should be good.
And it's recording. Our
he's got a
mics are
red
on recording,
Yep.
right?
Got 3 mics there. There. Yeah, now we're good.
And mine's facing upwards.
No, yeah.
The other day I had it turned, which is fine.
It doesn't matter.
Still works because this is the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Senator Walczyk, which I told you I'm not going to call you that last time. I think I said I was going to say Mark, but appreciate you taking the time to bring us our tour here. First of all, I've never been to the Capitol. It was freaking awesome.
Beautiful.
It's cool.
I would
right?
like that one. Just all the spots actually. I just like want at my house.
We're
It's just beautiful, the detail and stuff.
We were talking about you on the way down here, and we're like, because the first time I met with you, the only you I knew was as my company commander. I was a little nervous. You're coming here, you are sitting in my living room. I have a senator at my house, but I'm a different person now, I feel like, but more so, you made us feel really comfortable really quickly. So I was a lot more excited to do this a second time around.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
you make the conversation flow, not be so like stuffy or like
we're
so
just people.
interviewed,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Company commanders are people.
Yeah, exactly.
So are elected representatives. They're just people. Actually, in the grand scheme of things, you outrank me because the citizens are in charge of this state.
Oh.
That's how representative democracy works.
That's fair.
So I used to serve in the assembly.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you're moving up to the Senate. And I'm like, no, I'm moving down to the Senate.
Yeah.
I now work for even more people. So like I'm lower on the rung. And that's really how it's supposed to work. And that's definitely, if you're going to be a public servant, that's a mentality you have to have.
Absolutely, man. I was hoping to kind of just start off like with where you obviously know we navigated a whole lot of stuff throughout this past summer, and it's definitely ironic that the husband and wife couple that's doing a podcast primarily on overcoming adversity goes through unheard of adversity. And 'cause I wouldn't know what to say to me. So many people said to me like, I don't know what to say. Like, I say I'm sorry.
Or they avoid you.
Or
they don't
people
know what to
avoid,
say.
but I think it's really important for people to see that people can go through immense tragedy and still carry forward.
Yeah.
And I think, we got a lot of that. Military has definitely given us resilience, I would say. I say us. She's not former military, but you know what I mean. But, for people that are listening that have only heard this podcast, we've navigated tragedy where, I lost my ex-wife, my 16-year-old son, Tyler, and then my daughter. She passed away 3 weeks later in the ICU. And this isn't all doom and gloom, and I'm able to talk about this because I've talked about it quite a bit, and it's one of those things I've kind of hammered because I think it's so important. And I want your take on, when you heard about what we went through, maybe, I don't know if it's from like a social media post or, and just kind of your observations on the outside looking in.
I think it was actually at AT when I heard from another soldier, like, hey, did you hear about Matt? I'm like, no, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we saw the news come out, and
Everybody was doing a lot of praying for you, man.
Oh my gosh, man.
I think we feel that.
Yeah.
We have felt that.
And your buddy Carpinelli, he was on our podcast 2-3 weeks ago. It just aired his podcast, and 'cause I haven't seen him since that day of the accident. We talked on the phone here and there. He checked in on us, and he's such a good guy, like just genuine, humble individual.
Yeah.
We had a great conversation.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that. I just kind of want to touch upon that.
Can I take it somewhere?
Absolutely.
I know where you're going with it. You've taken this tragedy and you're using it for good.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful to have something like that happen to you and your family.
Yeah.
And you could have hunkered down and crawled into a hole,
Yeah.
either in your spirit or in your life.
Yeah.
And instead, you're using it as an opportunity to reach other people that have had tragedies
Yes.
in their life and speaking life into them, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's the most encouraging thing that
Yeah.
you're doing. So thank you for the courage to do that.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm sure it hasn't been easy.
Oh, no.
Either to go through the tragedy and everything that happened,
Yeah.
but then also the courage to like stand up and say, "Hey, I got a voice.
Yeah.
I can help others." Lots of people are touched by tragedy in all kinds of different ways
Yeah.
in their life. And even if, like, I think about the high school kids that you spoke to,
Yeah.
some of them probably are like, "All right, this guy's been through some sad stuff. That stinks."
Yeah.
They're feeling sympathy for you. They're not feeling empathy because they haven't had a tragedy
Correct.
Right.
yet, but at some point
Yeah.
they will.
Yeah. That was
And
pretty much
you-
my message to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have given them some tools and a good message to say, like, you're going to get through this thing that you haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, because adversity is going to hit everybody, and
Yeah.
and it's all how you react to it, you know. And when you have every excuse to fold or go down a bad path, I think it's reassuring, and it's been reassuring for me. You know, we've had some incredible people that we've had opportunity to meet that have been through, you know, incredible things, horrible things, and seeing what they've done with it, it's really inspired me. I'm like, hey, yeah, we could go down a path of destruction or bitterness. So many people are bitter because they go through hard times, and I think that's a message that so many people right now, because unfortunately in this world we live in, there are so many people that are suffering, going through
They're so broken.
real issues.
But they're reaching out, maybe subconsciously, to like have a connection with someone that has gone through the same thing, not going to a therapist or psychologist or whatever that went to school for it. They want that realness,
Yep.
you know. And
But
okay, sorry.
no,
It's
you're
always
fine, you're
something. But it's weird because, like, thinking about how we're trying to navigate through all of this, it's like I know where it kind of comes from, and it's like our love and our teamwork together, but it's also our faith. But it's like sometimes I'm like, how are we even doing this?
Yeah.
Because it gets so intense sometimes, and sometimes we do feel lost, and like we're obviously
Sometimes.
in like dark places, but we don't let it like overtake our thoughts and stuff.
Yeah. Some days.
mean,
There-
yeah.
there's days that, you know, there's days I'm feeling sorry for myself and, you know, in a puddle of tears and
Yeah,
whatnot,
but you don't let it overcome your life.
Correct.
You know, there's like, it's like, oh, you had a bad moment in a day. Did you have a bad day or just a
Yeah.
bad moment in that day?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it a bad day.
Yeah. And on the flip side, man, you can be more grateful, especially with loss, specifically with loss. You can be more grateful for everything you have right then and there, because, I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
Man, that's what they told us in all those Army resiliency classes.
Yeah.
Hunt the good stuff.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
now those good moments are even greater because you have a great appreciation
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't really realize that you guys had classes like that.
Yeah.
And okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's resiliency training.
Yeah,
Okay.
and a lot of them, of course, when you're, you know, the younger me, it's funny because I actually talked about this really early on. I don't think it was before I did a podcast. I posted a video, and it was the first time I've ever posted a video. I haven't really talked about it either. Never shared it, nothing. And it's public, but it was me at wit's end, and I talked about going through. I checked myself into the VA just to talk to somebody. I was not doing good, and I went through that same checklist that we've all done a million times. Are you thinking of hurting yourself? You know, and I wasn't. However, I wasn't doing good, and when I was going through this checklist, this time is the only time I've ever. It's always like no. Here you go, just to get it out of your way, because
Yeah.
I wasn't navigating adversity then. But when you're really going through the motions and you're actually reading these questions, and you're like, man, yeah.
Does it make you think that when you're like checking the like number 5, not the number 1 for like severity, you're like,
Yeah.
that actually is me this time?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah, and I think reaching out. There's a lot of people that don't reach out. They're too proud, and that was definitely me. But
We're scared.
yeah. But yeah, we can kind of shift gears
Shift
there.
it a little bit,
I do
yeah.
want to shift it into primarily. I want to jump into what we were talking about right before we started rolling. We're talking a little bit about AI.
Yeah.
And because it scares the hell out of me working in the tech industry.
Yeah.
And I know you were talking to somebody about has a similar viewpoint, because it's a great tool. and we can do incredible things. And I know you do social media and stuff, and it can be handy for social media and post. And but it's like when
I don't know. I still write my stuff.
good for you. I just had a conversation on LinkedIn about that. So everybody posts that fabricated crap that's just.
I mean, I'll use like AI tools for an image.
Yep.
Like, I'm not an artist.
Same
So
here.
like if I want like an image to prove a point,
Yeah.
which I just did. I just posted something on Facebook today. And I
Yeah.
was like, hey, AI, make this image for
Yeah.
me. But like, I think part of like a good social media presence is being authentic.
Yes. Yeah.
So like if you're farming like your authenticity out to AI, like what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
People crave that though. They want real stuff, I think.
Yeah, be real.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You know,
How can you connect to something that's fake? It's not you at all. And that's not even it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. You know, and I got
Yeah.
thinking a lot lately, you know, with what's going on overseas and stuff. I'm like, is it theoretically possible if I'm able to do the things I'm able to do with large language modules or music generators or video generators, like who's to say like the government can't do the same stuff or threat actors, nation state actors? And it's like, I mean, there could be things that they say are going on around the world that there's nothing even happening.
Dude, 100%.
And that's terrifying.
I don't know if you like. I was glued to different videos coming in when this recent Iran conflict like kicked off,
Yeah.
and I'm watching this stuff, and I'm like,
Is this real?
"Is this real?"
I know.
Yeah, there
it's
is
so
that.
scary.
Like, I mean, we said like the next war will be live streamed because we know everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket, and like you're gonna see it, whether it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
soldiers on the ground. And we saw it like a little bit in Ukraine. Like you saw a lot more wartime footage than you're used to seeing.
Yeah.
So then this stuff started coming out, but this was the first time that I was like, can I discern whether this is actual footage or not? Like this AI's gotten good enough that it's
Yeah.
like, I can
Right.
easily be fooled.
It's
Yeah.
just started.
Yeah.
We're at the bottom of the curve as far as if you're looking at like what they're projecting.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
Yeah. What scares you about it the most?
I think they could win a war without firing a shot. I think you could cause mass chaos, and even I even think about what's going on with electricity in New York State, and it ties into that. I'm like, there's things that are going on that are so absurd right now that it's like you can't even make this up. Like force everybody to go electric everything, while the electric prices are going through the roof, and you got data centers that are being built to feed these AI machines that's not slowing down, and it's like, can any of this? It
People
doesn't
won't
make
be able
sense
to survive.
unless it's working as intended. And it's supposed to burn from the inside out. I think about that a lot.
Dude, some days it does kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
to be dark, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, some days it does feel like, hey, like you see how hurting people are with
Yeah.
their energy bills right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be, even if you are wholly in on like New York State, 0.4% of global emissions, 0.3% of global population, but we need to do more in New York State to clean the air for the planet to save the world from rising sea levels. All right, if you're all in on that mission, you still need to look back at New Yorkers
Yeah.
and realize like they can't afford to pay for this plan
Yeah.
that's laid out for them.
Yep.
So like this will fail if you continue to go down this road.
Yeah.
I've talked to friends across the aisle, and like I think there's a way to electrify New York. I'm like, you guys have gone about it the exact wrong way. Like if you wanted to do this plan, what you should have done is first ramped up production of electricity to drive down the cost of buying electricity. Then build your transmission out for your electrical grid to be able to handle more. But when people have cheap power, they're going to automatically convert. They might say, well, if it's more expensive for me to have a natural gas furnace, maybe I'll look at some of the electric options.
Yeah.
And you literally have case studies in like municipal electric areas where people have like electric baseboard heat, very inefficient, but like the power is so cheap, they already have a fully electric home. They got all electric stuff. They have all the stuff.
Yeah.
If you drive down the prices, then the market will respond and people will generally electrify. Like that would be a good plan.
Yeah.
Their plan here was to force people to electrify, not create more power. We've actually reduced the amount of, this is so wild. So in 2019, we shut down a nuclear power facility in the Hudson Valley. And since then, we've actually produced fewer electrons in New York State than before that was shut down. With all of the additional green energy like that we've added, and with 2 new peaker plants that are natural gas burning facilities, they still haven't made up for the power of that one facility. That
Not
you
even with all the
lost.
solar farms I'm seeing
No,
everywhere?
Yeah, they're
not
popping
even
up
all
everywhere.
of those. And batteries also don't produce anything. They just hold the power for a minute, and they're expensive and kind of dangerous and not environmentally friendly. But that's a whole different deal.
Yeah.
If you wanted to electrify New York, like there is a way to do it, and they've gone the opposite way. And here's why I say it to them. I'm like, you could actually hurt your own cause. And this is what I was saying 2-3 years ago. I'm like, if you drive prices up, the people who, many of them are like, yeah, we need to do our part in global climate change. Many of them who are like, natural gas burning facilities, not my favorite. If we could have a greener, cleaner economy, wonderful. If we can convert to electricity, great. I'll do my part for the planet. There's a lot of New Yorkers that think that way. And I told them, like, they'll turn on you when their electric bills are unaffordable. And that's where we are. And the people are turning on them because, like, they can't afford to pay it. So they might want to do their part for the planet, but they're like, I can't afford this anymore, though.
Yeah.
So give me the cheap power back.
Yeah.
And that's where we are.
What about the $2 billion that's set aside?
All right, so this is interesting, and it's like as a planner, and I'm also fascinated by energy policy. Period.
Yeah.
In their aggression to collect as much money as they can and build as many renewable green energy projects as they can, they've collected a bunch of your utility bills into what they call the Clean Energy Fund.
Okay.
NYSERDA, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, and the Climate Action Council have tried to push that money out the door as fast as they can. They were having a hard time citing a lot of these things because of environmental regulations and also because of like NIMBYism, like not in my backyard.
Oh, yeah.
People didn't want to see solar fields.
Yeah.
So they passed the RAPID Act in order to roll over home rule, in order to like kill zoning in towns and put these things in and cite them without environmental regulations as fast as possible. All right. Even with all of that, they haven't been able to spend the billions that they've collected out of ratepayers' utility bills fast enough. So there's over $2 billion in the Clean Energy Fund right now from last year that is unspent because they
crazy.
haven't been able to build battery, solar, wind fast enough. So yeah,
Okay.
I presented, there's a good bill, Senator Tom O'Mary's from the Finger Lakes. He's got a bill that I'm a co-sponsor of. And it would just be to take the money that's in the Clean Energy Fund. This bill doesn't even say stop collecting the extra out of people's checks. It just says the over collection that you've already made, put it back on people as a bill credit.
Yes.
It'd knock your energy bill down. Like
Yeah.
you'd get a one-time credit of like a couple $100. It would help a little.
What's the counter argument to that?
No good counter argument. The NYSERDA is saying like, no, that money is already like we're already promising it for projects, but clearly they're not spending it fast enough. And they're still over collecting more than they can possibly spend for these projects.
Well, like, what do the state, like, if people can't pay their bill and they're thousands and thousands of dollars in debt, like, what is going to happen? Like, I think I just don't understand what they think these families are going to do. Or
It depends on the people. So there's about 300,000 New York households right now that are in arrears to their utility companies. Like they're behind on payments. If you're, and this happens to a lot of New York families and a lot of New Yorkers, if you can't pay, you wait until it warms up enough and then they shut the utilities off. And then the next time you get a rental agreement, you put the utilities under somebody else's name in your household so that you can get them turned back on
Such a
in the
mess.
next apartment.
Yeah. Wow.
And who pays that balance? The rest of the ratepayers, everybody that's paying their bill. In other cases, like if you own your home, you're paying a mortgage, and you are struggling through this, and you're in arrears right now, I don't know what those options are for people who get their power shut off once the weather warms back up. Because right now they can't, at a certain temperature, they can't shut your power off.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, people would literally die in their
Yeah.
homes. So, yeah.
And then it's like you can't get it paid off at the end of the summer. It's fall. It's going to start getting really, really cold. You still owe a crap ton. It's like that.
And
I just don't understand.
There's some ways to lessen the pain. So like if you're listening to this podcast and you're having a hard time with the monthly spikes in your bills right now, talk to your utility company, like whether it's NYSEG or National Grid. Talk to them about balanced billing. They should be able to put you on a plan that kind of does a year-long look back. And that will sort of stabilize so you're not hit by the spikes that we saw in January and February, obviously, because it was very cold. If you're getting behind, most utility companies can put you on a payment plan to try and catch back up over time. So like you don't have to be like, don't just ignore it and then wait for the shut off. There's a couple of options, but a lot of people have already done the balanced billing. And this is a problem that won't even catch up with them for a while. So now their bill is just going to continue to rise in that monthly payment over time because like those spiked months haven't even really calculated into the next phase.
They're going to be like 100 until they're even going to be able to pay off any bills.
Can our grid support more electric demand? I mean, like schools going electric, the electric bus thing drives me nuts.
In a lot of instances, no. But that is what they're building right now. So the biggest like reason for, everybody got mad that the utilities went out for a big rate increase, which they got. They went out to the Public Service Commission, and the Public Service Commission is all appointed by the governor, confirmed in the Senate. And the public service commissioners basically oversee that rate case, try to negotiate with the utility company on what a reasonable rate increase is. But the utility companies are coming to the Public Service Commission and asking for a rate increase because they're required to build out a lot more transmission and substations and all of this stuff in order to fully electrify New York. This is another one of those things like, oh, you did it backwards. You needed to overproduce first. Then invest in upgrading your grid. Then let the market allow people to make their own market decisions. Like, oh, actually electricity is dirt cheap and it gets to my house pretty cheap and my electric bill is not bad and my gas bill is high. People will electrify if you do that. But to answer your question, no, not today. It's not. The grid's not ready. But the biggest increase in our bills right now, a little bit on the supply. Like we were short on natural gas in the coldest. We get a little bit from Canada. We get a lot from Pennsylvania. Canada and Pennsylvania were also using their own gas. We don't take gas out of the ground in New York because there's a moratorium on it. So we've got to buy other people's gas. And those prices absolutely spiked in the cold weather. But a lot of the price that you're paying and the reason that utility companies went out for those rate increases is to upgrade the grid. So you're paying for a lot of new power in your power bill right now. You're paying for a lot of new power lines that were just built, a lot of new substations that were just built, and a lot more that will be built in the near future.
There's a lot of people, especially us techies in the tech industry, that think that a lot of the reason there's going to be a rate increase isn't to support the electrical demand residentially, but like there's a lot of cat videos and stuff that are being generated with AI, and it's like people,
Cat videos?
Yeah.
Can you explain?
I'm explaining.
Okay.
There's a lot of videos being generated with AI. People have no idea the amount of power required from these data centers for AI to utilize to be able to generate these videos. And AI is not slowing down. It's a topic that it was almost conspiracy 5 years ago if you talked about AI taking over jobs and stuff. Now look, I mean, it's taking over jobs. It's automating everything. And I read something course, I actually used AI to generate an article, ironically. But
Yeah.
it was saying that New York is a major target. It's got a lot of water. AI data centers generate a lot of heat. Water cooling is very important.
Yep.
And it makes me wonder, is this grid being boosted up to support people, or is it going to end up supporting data centers? Maybe both. And it's, so where's the money? And they're not making money off of. I mean, you are making money off the people, but you're not going to touch the amount of money and the financial incentive behind what is available with this new technology that's emerging.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
how are they going to make money out of people that can't pay their bills? They're not. It just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense to many people.
Like, where's that money coming from if we don't have it?
Well, we touched upon the buses.
Yeah.
And her and I, when we were driving down, we were talking about the schools. I won't speak for all schools across New York. I'm sure you'd have a little bit more insight on that. Schools, it seems locally, are struggling. They're struggling for after-school buses.
Yeah.
They're struggling for pretty much in every aspect.
Yeah.
And then they're being pushed. Their buses got to be, I believe by next year, they're going to start only being able to any new bus has to be electric. Is the proposed?
What's that timeline on all electric buses? We're getting close.
Yeah, I thought it was 2027. I may be wrong.
Yeah, it might be 28. Some schools have been early adopters.
I've heard it.
The
hasn't went
interesting thing,
Yeah, I wanna know how
we're
it
already
goes
kind of in the window where it's a problem for
Yeah.
schools. And this is what, because we're already in the bonding for a new bus window. So you can expect, most school districts expect to get 8 to 10 years out of a bus and its service life. So if you buy a bus right now, the mandate hits before the end of that bus's useful life. So school districts are looking to all they're asking right now is can you just push back that timeline? We don't care
Yeah.
if you do it every single year, just push it back another year so that we can go out and buy our diesel bus and keep
Yeah.
kids going to school.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, the mandate is what it is, but can you give us another year so that we can go buy our buses? And you're not telling us in a few years, hey, the bus that you bought a few years ago that's not even paid for yet, you've got to now have an electric bus in its place. And the electric buses, they're like $400,000, $500,000.
Yeah.
A diesel bus is like 100, 150.
Yeah.
I just
how
don't think
are
the
schools-
technology is there yet. And battery technology alone. I mean, I think it's great. It's a great idea, and maybe there will be a point. I'm not against electric, but it's is it there, especially in upstate New York?
No, it's-
And what about the cold?
It's not. It's not. So I had a school superintendent here talking about this. They were it was South Glens Falls. They were early adopters, talking about the problems with their buses and with the routes, and they don't get as far as they're advertised. And NYSERDA comes in and does a feasibility study for the school district, and they say, no, your school district can fully support this. And then you see what practically happens on the ground. I also Alexandria Bay is in my Senate district, and they were early adopters. Got their buses paid for. It was just 2 of them. They're like, we'll try these out. They were like believers in it. The superintendent at the time, so they got 2 of these buses. They had so many problems that they were on a lowboy more often than they were delivering
That's what I heard.
kids to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they had problems with service. Obviously, there's not that many technicians
I
for
was
these
gonna ask
things
about
out there,
that,
so
yeah.
they had to send them down to Syracuse to get service. And they're working with the company. They're like, hey, what does a warranty say on this? These buses are having problems all
Yeah.
the time. They're always dying on us. We have to send diesel buses out to
Anyway,
save kids on
yeah.
the route. And so the company was like, we realized that after all of these complaints, they're like, we'll send you 2 more buses, new ones. So they sent them 2 more buses.
With more
Now
problems?
they
Yeah.
have 4 buses. All the same problems with these 4 electric buses. And here's where, so I never got into the there was some fear mongering about battery fires and burning kids up.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, all right, lithium-ion batteries, we know that if they're not stable, this could be a problem with thermal runaway. We've seen it in battery storage facilities.
Gasoline's a little flammable too, though, or diesel.
So is gasoline and diesel. Yeah, and also you're doing a dangerous thing. You're on the road.
Yeah.
I got it. I never really fed, there is a danger there, but I never really fed that much into this one.
Yeah.
However, so talking to the school superintendent at Alex Bay, he told me about these buses they'll say they have 80% battery life, and then they will just die on the route. The bus just stops.
Yeah.
And it's because it's -20 degrees
Right.
outside.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And so like the tech is not proven for that. You asked about the cold, is not proven for like that level of cold. And if you think about all of the school districts are all running kids at the same time.
Yeah.
So you got a busload of kids, it's negative 20 degrees outside, and your electric bus just dies. You don't have that much time to get to those kids before the situation gets very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? So parents are freaking out, and rightly so.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Like, don't put my kid on that bus that might die when it's 20 below.
Yeah.
And they, thank goodness, they have diesel buses in their fleet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're sending the diesel buses out to rescue the kids off of the electric bus.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things that's like, hey, the case study's already been done. And when they were passing this mandate, I was like, why would you make this a mandate? Do a case study.
Yeah.
My point back then was like, it's the New York City politicians that are pushing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do it for New York City.
Yeah.
Go nuts. Show us how well it works for New York City first, and then we'll think about it.
Yeah.
And I would say our school districts should look at New York City, and if they're like, our school board, our superintendent, our community supports this, we think it will work really well here, then
Yeah.
who am I?
Yeah.
Then go nuts.
Seems pretty reasonable.
But we did it backwards.
Yeah.
Mandate for everybody. And now we have the case studies that show like, oh, this does not work. So
Yeah.
please stop. And that's where the school superintendents and school boards are now. They're like, yeah, okay, this is proof positive that it doesn't work.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's like cold in New York State like the majority of the year. So like it's kind of
Are there any
dumb.
other states doing this type of mandate? I mean, I'm assuming California is
I don't
probably
know.
likely.
I don't know if
but-
Cali is.
I would think you'd start in a warmer climate than New York to, pilot something like this because it is
Right.
a pilot. It's a,
Yeah.
but who am
Yeah.
I?
Yeah, it would make, and honestly, some of the arguments that we have in these halls are tough to do comparisons.
Yeah.
So, like, I talk a lot about solar and green energy. I'm fascinated by energy policy. They'll bring numbers and sometimes even use Texas against us, which is funny. But it's like, well, it's sunnier in Texas, and their days are longer throughout the year.
Yeah.
And they have open space that they can, so their solar is actually more productive and their wind is more productive than here. That's a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
Just on the tech side.
Yeah.
So like, don't take Texas numbers and like layer them over New York. Yeah, would a solar farm produce better in Arizona? For sure. In Florida, yeah, it's called the Sunshine State. Like, but even on solar, so like the nameplate on a solar, when they give you that, okay, we're putting in a 200 megawatt solar field, right? What does that actually mean? On average in New York in our climate, anywhere from 10 to 20% is what you can expect to actually get annually off of its nameplate. So, and it's only producing in the middle of the day when it's the sunniest
Yeah.
at higher levels. Overall, you're getting about 20% of the nameplate. And the peak energy usage is at the end of the day when people all go home and turn everything on. So for your grid, this is why there's so much battery storage being put everywhere. They're trying to get that solar and wind into battery storage so they can sell it back on the market in New York as wind and solar, but at a time when you have the peak demand for it.
Right. So like in New York or wherever it's going to snow a lot, does the snow on the like solar fields or whatever, does that make any difference with the sun shining on it? Because like, what if there's 4 feet of snow on there?
Dunzo.
Yeah, so like that's kind of dumb too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I wonder what the turnaround rate is for these solar fields paying for themselves, even.
Yeah.
Because that technology is expensive as hell within
It's
itself.
not, yeah. I mean, and if you really do like the full carbon footprint, are you helping?
Yeah.
Maybe it's sketchy at best.
Wouldn't a forest be better being there than a giant
don't-
black field?
Don't toy with me. That all right. So there was a bill last week that would take state reforestation areas and make them available for solar projects. State reforestation areas.
Wow.
Like this is taxpayers have preserved this land because like the state has determined that this land is so important to preserve and manage as a forest.
Yeah.
And they're like, cut down the trees, let's put up the solar panels.
So sad.
So when you talk about like what is the payout in this and are we helping? In global emissions, you're not helping, you're actually hurting.
Yeah.
Because here's what a working forest does. It harvests carbon.
Correct.
That's what wood is made out of. It
Yeah.
takes it right out of the air.
Yeah.
And you can generally, like if you grow a black locust forest, for example, you can harvest that thing in like 20, 25 years. And now you have a hardwood with a good market and
Yeah.
like, let's go. So even if your goal is to like constantly manage and forest this thing, cut it, regrow a new forest as a crop, like a 20 to 30 year crop, you're then capturing that carbon and turning it into furniture or into houses or whatever the case is, and that carbon remains captured out of the atmosphere. So the 30-year payout there is you've captured a bunch of carbon. The 30-year payout for solar is like you've harvested electrons for 30 years, and solar panels are good for like 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So I like the equivalent because like the amount, like how long a solar field lasts is about how long it takes to grow a forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you could then harvest. One of them is actually sequestering carbon. The other one is just producing electrons, and then with a new carbon footprint needs to be replaced again.
Yeah.
So like this is not greener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird. And I'm even saying like if you're cutting the trees,
Yeah, but you're
it's still not greener. But
Yeah.
if you're just cutting the trees to just have solar panels there,
Yeah.
it's definitely not.
it's
greener.
detrimental.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to care about that stuff because you're a Republican. You can't care about, that's just.
It is like that's one that like it's so like you're gonna destroy the environment to say that you're saving the globe.
Yeah.
Like our climate crisis or how much carbon there is.
Where
in
do these
the
batteries
world.
come from?
The batteries come pretty deep out of the earth.
I mean, cobalt. Is there anything? And you follow that back, and I mean, it gets dark. And
It does get dark.
I don't know how much of that's even real, but you read about the slavery in Africa and cobalt mining, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. I think it's crazy. I think it's a mess.
But I read it on the internet, so I know it's true. I'm sure it's not good, but
Well, cobalt mines in Africa are true. Like,
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw images of like thousands and thousands of people. It was a mine that was supposed to support I think like 1,000 workers, and it had like 10,000 workers there, and they're all wearing like flip flops and
scary.
stuff, and it's sad.
Yeah.
They say
Yeah.
there's more slavery,
Now?
than there ever has been.
Yeah, so it's interesting as far as I can tell, and I haven't been to the Congo to oversee it because you're right.
Yeah.
It's like it's tough to really know like what is the truth these days. And it's
Yep.
one of the scary things
Yeah.
about trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
But as far as I can tell, it looks like China has made some deals. They buy up some mining rights. They start a mine. They import actually a lot of labor.
Oh, okay.
But adjacent to that, like when cobalt is discovered in the ground, you will have locals that will just basically on their own like try to go get it. And that's also created. And it might be some of the things that you've seen
Oh, wow.
where the most dangerous mines are. Because even if China is being exploitative of the resource, like it doesn't make sense for you to just like kill all of your workers in a mine.
Yeah.
Make a bunch of extra unsafe conditions. Like you really want to harvest the resource as efficiently as possible. That's what the market like. That's what it requires of you. But if that stuff is in the ground in the area, people will come in and try to get to adjacent resources in some really dangerous situations that aren't a good mining operation at all. And I think it's probably some of both.
Yeah. I would imagine those resources are other places, but it's cheap labor.
Yeah.
Gonna shift gears here a little bit again. Last time we talked, our biggest focus was on state prison. And,
yeah.
It's been almost a year now since we talked.
Yeah.
I think it was, I want to say March of last year. So
Yeah.
we're going right about
Wow.
a year.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Things are a lot better now. Right? National Guard's no longer in prisons now, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh man.
I honestly haven't kept up on the news that I've heard from a few people like, no, it hasn't got better.
National Guard costs $1 billion a year to keep in our prison.
Yeah.
There's still like 2,400 of them, as far as I can tell,
Jeez.
in our state prisons right now.
Foreseeable future. You said that a year ago.
They lowered
Yeah.
the age that you could become a CO. They
wow.
have done a lot on retention for COs. A lot of them are making bank on overtime right now because there's plenty of overtime to be had because they're so short. All of this still has not created enough incentive for people to raise their hand and want to be a corrections officer in the state of New York. So the academy is not even graduating at the rate that they're losing COs to retirement.
Wow.
So the problem just continues to persist. I think until the governor does some of the things that we talked about a year ago
Yeah.
in making the working conditions safer,
Yep.
having some honest conversations with the corrections officers about how we're going to manage all of this and giving them some tools to make their job safer every day. Until that happens, the best recruiter, how were you recruited into the Army?
I went to the recruiter's office.
You just
I
walked in?
tried going active duty at the time.
Did anything happen prior to walking into a recruiter's office? Or you just loved playing Army? In the
Oh no! I'm going through a divorce, so I'm like, I've always wanted to join the military. I didn't want to destroy my family. My family's kind of destroyed now, so I might as well go in the military.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you know anybody that was in the Army?
Yeah, one of my best friends. Yeah, we actually were supposed to enlist for 7 years before that. I was supposed to enlist with him, buddy system. We were going to go Army infantry. I backed out the night before MEPS.
No way.
I completely pussied out.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. And then I found out my daughter, she was actually, my ex-wife was a few weeks pregnant at that point in time. I found out. So it was almost a blessing. Not almost. It was a blessing in disguise because I was going to go active, and he deployed right to Iraq in 2007 and stuff. So yeah. But, yeah.
So he was in when you were talking to him?
Yeah.
Your buddy was in. All right, so I just bring that up because like the best recruiter for a corrections officer is a corrections officer.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking about getting into that profession, it's the same in the Army. When people tell me they want to join the military, it's like I tell them because I'm in the military, like, hey, here's what you're getting into, pal. And it's smart that you talk to somebody that is in the profession that you might want to get into.
Yeah. I was just thinking about retention rates for National Guard. I wonder if National Guard recruiters right now are telling these soldiers that might be enlisting, hey, there's a chance you might end up in a Supermax. Because unless the bonuses are really, really good, I mean, for me to enlist right now, at least into the National Guard, not a shot in hell. And I it's going to impact retention rates unless people just aren't aware and they're not telling them.
Well, and this is the problem on the corrections officer side.
Yeah.
If you talk to a CO that's in there right now, they'll tell you how many years they got left until they're going to get out. And if they like you, they're going to be like, I wouldn't do it if I had the opportunity today.
Yeah.
And they're your top recruiter. So if you're not talking to them about things that make them say to that guy who is interested in getting into the corrections officer business, you need to do enough to change his conversation to say like, yeah, it's a tough job, but it pays. It'll give you a decent pension. You need to have those things. It's been a way for me to provide for my family. It's not as bad as they say. Like that conversation needs to look like that, or you're never going to have new recruitment.
Well, yeah, that you get the counter side of that rate. Okay, so the rates are horrible right now. So they're lowering the age. You said.
Yeah.
I imagine they're being less strict with the clientele they're picking for these prisons. And I don't think it's a very big secret that drugs are at an all-time. They're brutal in prisons and in jails. So it's like you're getting more than likely less trustworthy people. Not all of them, but people that.
The drop rates at the academy are higher.
Yeah.
So even men and women that go to the corrections academy, they're dropping out at higher rates. But as you point out, you're not able to take the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
If you had a bunch showing up to the academy and your classes were full, then you say like, I don't think this job is for you. Why don't you look at something else? But if you are desperate to draw anybody who can possibly make it through so that you can put them in a seat somewhere, you're not going to get your best.
Exactly. Yeah. And the background checks are going to be less stringent on the people that you get. Yeah.
And in the 80s and 90s, in a lot of our communities, like this was a decent job.
Yeah.
It wasn't glorious.
Absolutely.
But you could provide for your family. You knew that you would have a good retirement.
It used to be like, because I actually was going to go in corrections. I remember it seemed to be like the best kept secret for a while. Everybody that I talked to that worked, and they would insinuate, yeah, you should absolutely look into this.
Yeah.
It's a great career.
And in our area, it was kind of like, I know I'm going to have to work downstate because this is just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have to
Right.
work downstate and be away from my family for
Yeah.
like the first 5 years of this
Yeah.
job, which is wild.
Yeah.
The guys even still volunteered
yeah.
to do
Yeah.
this work. But it was a decent paying job, and with the hopes that I'll be able to work back home
Yeah.
and get to the correctional facility that is within a reasonable commuting distance of where I live. And so that's what those, and now like those same guys that worked back through that system and had a pretty good deal and a decently safe job
Yeah.
and a good paying job at that time, like they're not looking at the next generation saying like, oh yeah, if it was today, I'd absolutely do it. Yeah, get into
Right.
this. It's going to be good for you, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So until those big problems are fixed,
Yeah.
drugs, the HALT Act, with the ability to separate somebody that's being really violent, until they give corrections officers some of those tools, like that conversation isn't going to change, and it's going to continue to be a problem. And to your point about the National Guard, I think at this point the National Guardsmen that are in are on a completely volunteer basis.
Okay.
As far as I can tell. So the orders created a lot of problems for a lot of guardsmen that also have other jobs,
Yeah.
right? I think we're down to a number where it's like they're making enough to make it worthwhile, and
Cool.
if they
Okay.
wanted to go and do something else, they could go and do something else. They're getting some financial incentives from the National Guard in order to
Okay.
continue doing that work. But any corrections officer will tell you, like, these are not COs.
Yeah.
And they're not doing CO work.
Yeah.
It's okay to have the help, but we really need corrections officers in our correction
Right.
facility.
That makes sense.
I feel like someone we just had an episode with that said like the same thing that you're saying. I can't remember who it
Maybe
was.
Sheriff Mashel.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's talking about the jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like with all the problems that everyone can see, everyone knows, why is it so hard to try to even fix it?
I know, if you make it
Like
safer,
baby steps,
give
but
them,
like let's
give
go
them
the good way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
go the positive way instead of just letting everything spiral more out of control. I feel like that's what it's doing. Maybe it isn't, but I feel like that's
Yeah.
what it's doing.
I don't know. How many prisons did they shut down over the past few years?
I think the governor has said that she wants to shut down 3 more in this round.
And why?
I mean, a big part of the reason is they're so short on corrections officers.
And then
We've also changed a lot of laws in New York. They're commuting sentences a little early, paroling a little bit early. There's more laws pending right now that would, elder parole and all kinds of things to push people out on the streets and into the parole system
Seems crazy.
faster.
Yeah.
Eliminating mandatory minimum sentences from judges for serious crimes.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of things out there. They've basically been decriminalizing and sort of lessening the penalty, and that's reduced our prison population. So you can shuffle prisoners in New York around a little bit more and probably close a couple of correctional facilities just based on vacancy. The
Yeah.
story that doesn't tell is like, we've been doing this now for a long period of time. There used to be a time where you could look at like Cape Vincent Correctional, pretty out there, like out in the middle of nowhere, right? And a very safe facility. This was one of those facilities that, like, they call it a cookie cutter in corrections, like built in the 80s, and it's like kind of dorm setting, almost
Yeah.
college campusy, like
Okay.
if you tour a cookie cutter. And they're relatively safe. They're medium security. They do have like a SHU. They have a special housing unit if somebody ends up being a real problem for corrections officers or other inmates. But this was a place that you wanted to work back to because you knew, like, all right, I'm not going to get slashed in the face by a
Right.
gang member, right?
Yeah.
And they went without incidents for a long period of time. Well, New York, as they started to decriminalize a bunch of stuff and push people out and not have people be in prison for crimes, they took maximum security prisoners and they pushed them into the mediums, and they took medium security prisoners and pushed them into, because these are a little cheaper to run, so they're pushing down the population into the minimum securities and medium securities. And so the places where it was like, all right, these guys, like the prisoners, the inmates, like they're just here to serve the rest of their time. They're pretty good behavior. They're not looking for bad conduct. They're not looking to give anybody a hard time or get in a fight or doing like, they're just serving their time. That population looks different today. So now you have more dangerous guys that are in those facilities because they've downgraded them, because their goal is to like, hey, let's get them through as fast as possible and then out on parole and back out on the street.
So scary.
Yeah.
But it's like the ones that are on good behavior and are just trying to get out, I feel like the worser ones, you know, are gonna start fights with them, and then they're all gonna get in trouble. So then the ones that are on good behavior aren't on that anymore, so they're gonna like stay in longer because they got in a fight or something.
I mean, you know, when we throw statistics out there for like how dangerous this is, because Cape Vincent, for example, right? They had no incident for a long time, and then a prison guard got caught by a gang member, ear to mouth, like nasty. He's gonna have scars for the rest of his life. Like, I saw his injuries. Like he worked back to get to the safer facility, and then he's dealing with this, right? And we highlight a lot of those things because you're talking about the corrections of it. To your point, we've created a climate that is not safer for the inmates either. Some of these guys are just trying to do their time and then maybe re-enter society. And we've made it less safe. The inmate on inmate violence way outpaces the inmate on correction officer violence. So like, you haven't really made it better for anybody.
Right.
You know, even if you're totally bought into like, we got to quickly re-enter people into society, even if they've, you know, murdered children or whatever it is.
My brain cannot understand that. Like, who thought that any of that was a good idea?
Some people deserve to be in prison.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Some people
Agreed.
need accountability, and it's
Yeah.
like this world is just, I know we talked about that last time. Accountability is just like, even whether it's prisons or schools, it's like they're taking away accountability, and these people need to learn, hey, there's repercussions for your negative actions, but
there isn't any.
Yes. What's your incentive to be a decent person? Not that we should need that, because you should be brought up with morals, but, you know.
Yeah, but then it doesn't even matter if you get arrested, because nothing really happens anyway.
For a lot of crimes.
Yeah.
I know we were just talking, you're still in the military. I wasn't even sure if you were still in or not.
Yeah, man, still
That's
in.
awesome. How many years you got now?
Still in. We're shooting this month, going out to the range.
Cool.
41 Alpha.
How many years are you in now?
Coming up on 14.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I started my last podcast, or not, 2 podcasts ago, off with General Lucky, and I started off because we sat there, we were eating at a diner. It was a great experience, really cool.
It was really cool.
And
Met the man. Did you tell him, keep pounding?
Oh, yeah.
you're going to laugh your ass off.
He's a big
because
Panthers fan.
We were sitting there, we ate at a... We ate for probably half an hour, 45 minutes or so, and we were nervous at first when he showed up, because we were there an hour early getting everything set up. You know, I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
He sits down, and we had a great conversation. Then we started rolling once we were comfortable, which is good. I'm happy we did it that way, and I'm happy it was at a diner. It was just the clicking and clacking of plates, and it was a busy. We had a Cortland. We were in North Carolina. And a Cortland baseball team was down there. And they were
really, yeah, that was cool.
The whole Cortland baseball team was eating.
No way.
Yeah, I went over and I said hi to the coach. I'm like, I'm from upstate New York too. But
cool.
Close,
I started off the podcast saying my old company commander, Senator Walczyk, he wants me to get you to admit that Ready Force X was a failure.
Yes.
And I said it just like that. I'm like, I don't know if he really expects me to call you out on this, but here I am.
Very
and
blunt.
then he loved it though, and he was a good sport. And he explained how, in his opinion, it wasn't a failure. However, you know, to each their own. But yeah, we had a great conversation, and we talked about some awesome things. We talked about modern technology and where it's going, and he's a very intelligent guy. And,
AI and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy. And he mentioned how he went when he was still. He said, I think it was 2017, that he went to a major tech company. He's not going to name the name. I'm assuming Tesla. but I talked to their lead engineer, and he was talking about incorporating like, you know, some modern technologies that they were looking into. I'm sure it's stuff he can't talk about, into the military. And then shifting over to a buddy of mine right now. He's deployed. He's in Italy, a forward observer. I believe, I don't know if he was in your unit underneath you or my other unit, but he was talking about drones. And he was talking about there's this modern warfare with drone technology. And over the past year or so, we've stayed in contact. And it's weird, man. Like, he makes it sound like what's going on overseas, even when it comes to Ukraine, it's still going on. That he's like, it's worse than you're seeing on the news. And he's like, there's, I want to say something like 50,000 Russian soldiers have been killed since it started. And but being in the military still, well, I mean, do they do any training? I don't know what your unit is. Probably something that stays away from like the modern weaponry and stuff like that. But do they talk about drones or anything like that now? Or
here's an area
unless you're not allowed to talk about.
I can't say too much.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm not sure quite where that line is.
Fair enough.
But I'll answer your question, which is, am I in a unit that deals with no?
Good.
No, so I'm in a observer controller trainer unit right now, OCT. We drive around in Humvees, and we're there to validate units in the field. Yeah. If they're meeting their mission essential task, we're there to validate the unit. Like, are they able to perform the things that this unit is supposed to perform? Awesome. We're also there to like coach and train. Yeah. So it's not really a gotcha guy with a clipboard. We're out there to like help. So we'll all buddy up with a company commander and ask him like, hey, are you following troop leading procedures on this? Or did you see the latest op order? What did you think of this paragraph? You know, help them, coach them through it, and train, like help units train if they have a training deficiency, something that they need to work on. We can provide that. So it's cool. Yeah. I really like this gig. A lot of what I did in the military up to this like really prepared me well for it. Yeah. And did a great training last summer. Had a lot of fun. Like some of the most fun that I've had doing real Army stuff in the field. Like sometimes you're really in the suck. And don't get me wrong. Like all right, we weren't sleeping a lot, and you know it was hot, and you're still out no matter what the weather is, and pouring rain and 90 degrees or whatever. But I had so much fun doing real Army stuff. I also got to work with some active duty guys that were there as opposition forces. Oh, so cool. The bad guys that come in, and it was reserve units on the ground. So they're coming in to be the bad guys, like the opposition force.
I never got to do OPFOR stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, and they were awesome to work with. Cool. Great professionals. And a lot of fun. So this is a good gig.
Cool. Awesome.
On drones, I think, man.
I can't imagine. I heard they're doing like fiber optic drones. I don't believe it was us, the enemy. So that way, even if you had some sort of EMP type of device that's able to knock it out of the sky.
Can you explain what that is?
Fiber optic. I mean, it literally they have I don't know how long. I assume a couple mile long fiber optic, which sounds expensive to me because fiber optic cable is expensive. But unless you sever that cable, there's no way to stop that and prevent that from coming at you. That's my understanding.
So it must be really strong. I mean, my brain thinks of like a really skinny little thing, but the drone would have to be strong enough to.
So the first iteration is all open source. Like the first iteration is like jamming technology. So like if somebody's flying a little remote control drone in their backyard, like you can get a jammer to mess with the frequency and they lose control of that thing, and you can make it crash or land on the ground if you want. If you can. So you're watching like a tech war play out in now 2 theaters. Where you're seeing adversaries, military techs tested against each other, which is a lot of like what happened in the Cold War. You watched all of these little conflict skirmishes around the globe where it was like US tech and Soviet tech showing up in a random country somewhere, and they're testing it out against each other. You're seeing the same kind of thing happen now in 2 theaters, watching how the tech matches up against each other.
Interesting.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
And usually, like, is there a good for society? War is bad. Don't want to do that. Is there a good? Usually tech takes a jump forward when you do these things.
Correct.
So it will be interesting to see, because everybody's trying to get the edge.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see what comes out of it. Some of it, yeah, all right, we should be scared of.
Yeah.
We've watched that in past wars.
Yeah.
Some tech that comes out of wars has made our lives better. Some has made our lives a lot scarier. And I think when you get into like the AI stuff, like, yeah.
There was a guy, Sam Harris mentioned, and he's a controversial person nowadays, but he was in 2014, he did a TED Talk on AI. He was saying, like, if the U.S. or any country was able to develop artificial general intelligence, which a lot of people don't know the difference, when it's able to improve itself at exponential speeds. He's saying, if we had a 6-month jump on another country, that could be the equivalent of like 100,000 years of technological advances over them. Like, it would be like looking back in time and just, you see in like the Stone Age equivalent. So it's like that race is there, and it's not a matter of if, it's when that they're able to make that leap of, I don't know. And maybe it's something, some people argue that's never going to happen, but all the experts are like, yeah, it's like they were estimating, I think, like 2036, and then I think it's dropped down, and but the problem is the demand for electricity in data centers is it's I think tenfold what they were anticipating.
Yeah.
So maybe that will push back the development.
Slow
of
everything down a
anything
little
like
bit.
that.
I mean, it's why a lot of the tech companies are looking at developing their own nuclear power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some pretty safe ways to roll forward with modern nuclear technology, whether it's thorium reactors or small modular reactors.
Putting them in space, I heard that.
What?
I believe Elon. They were talking about putting data centers in space.
So
Yeah.
weird.
That sounds very Elon.
So
Yeah,
weird.
I also heard. I heard
Definitely.
heat has to be able to dissipate. If there's no atmosphere, the heat has nowhere to go, and data centers are hot. So I don't know, but
He'll figure it out, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Interesting. Isn't space super cold?
yeah,
Right?
I don't know.
We think.
Never
That's what
been
we're
there.
told.
I don't know.
That is what I've never been.
No. Yeah, same.
Yeah. I want to. I was feeling the whole time I was here today. I'm like, the one time I didn't wear a tie, like, because I work, I wear a tie all day long, but I was repping this shirt. AGNS is always grateful, never satisfied. Eddie Pinero, I'm a big fan of his. He actually does like a podcast, and provided a lot of inspiration to me over the past couple of years. A lot of times I run, I listen to him and stuff, and talked to him on the phone a couple times. And he's actually, you familiar with Cam Hanes by any chance?
No.
Cam Hanes, he's buddies like Rogan and a lot of the big podcasters. And this guy just started an academy. He's all about always grateful, never satisfied. Is just like, be grateful for your life. Just keep pushing, do hard things. He's ultra marathon runner and stuff like that. I know you're a big runner, and I never thought I'd call myself a runner.
You're a runner now.
Medal's right
I
there.
know.
I
I see your stuff.
9 miles
He's a
Friday.
runner.
I see your stuff.
I did 13 miles Sunday, and I
I
wanted to do
try.
a full marathon. Never did a full marathon. Oh, and I might as well talk about this since we're on.
Before you move on though,
Yeah.
let me just pay you a huge compliment, because I've done some hard stuff before, which I think is really important. It's
Yeah.
important to character development.
Yes.
It's not just good for your body. It's important for your character to
Absolutely.
try some hard stuff. Go see what you're made of.
Yeah.
Don't be
easier.
disappointed by it. Just give yourself some challenges, and most people will surprise themselves. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
You are an any weather runner.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
-10
definitely is.
degrees,
Dude, you're
man.
nuts. What? Can you tell me, have you talked about this on the pod, how you fell in the canal?
Oh, here we go.
What happened, dude?
Dude, so many people reached out to me. I'm like, I make myself sound way stupider if you were like, first of all,
I think they were mad at you. Everyone that reached out
no,
was
it
mad.
sounds like you'd have to be an idiot to allow this to happen. However, if you were there, you would understand. It was 0 degrees that day. There was a lot of snow.
Already a day that I would not be running.
So,
I know.
I'm a
I
fair
know.
weather runner.
I got this certain here that people don't even know that's not the hard part. The hard part is I have a path that I run no matter what. And this path they don't plow. So if there's 2 feet of snow there, I run. It's only 200 yards long. It's along the canal. I'll run down there, and I generally do push-ups at this one spot and run back.
Okay.
Well, I'm going along the canal, and I'm like, it's snow over here. There's plowed road over here. I'm going through the deep snow. I'm sure it's non-negotiable. I think it's important. It makes it harder. And I'm running along the canal, and where there's a snow drift, it goes out into the canal. The closer you were to the canal, the more packed it was, so it made it a little easier. And I was dying, so I'm teetering that line. I was apparently about a foot over. There's no railing or nothing. Too far. and I'm running along. My left leg goes through. I mean, out of nowhere. And when I say through, I mean it was like up to here. I'm like, so I go to put my other leg down to push myself out. That leg goes through, and it wasn't just when you go through the snow. It's water. There was like an air gap, probably 2 foot or so.
Okay, because it's on the edge.
Yeah.
So the water had dropped.
Yeah, which made it that much more dangerous because if I were to go through, it's not like I could just reach up and pull myself out. There would have been
like
2
space.
foot of a gap,
Yeah.
and then I'm in the water in a canal that has current. You know, you're dead. So when I went to push myself out with my other foot, there's nobody
Now
around.
I'm mad at you. What are you doing?
Yeah, dude, I was when my other
know.
leg went through. Here I am up to my chest, about my feet were about up to my knees or so in the water, and I'm like, this is gonna go one of 2 ways. But I had to pull him to try it, so I pushed myself out like this. I got out, and my first reaction, I was about to call her for a ride, and I've avoided calling her for a ride this entire time. I want to say I did.
Once,
I
I
did
think
call
you
her. I
did.
don't remember what the reason was, but.
Yeah.
So I get my phone out, I'm about to call her, my feet are soaked, it's 0 degrees out, and I'm like, my feet aren't cold, they're wet. Even though they were just in the freezing cold water. I mean, when you're running 7 miles, your body's a furnace, you know,
Yep.
you don't need a lot of clothing in really cold weather. And I'm like, I'm just gonna feel it out for a couple minutes. So I started finished running through this deep snow, which was almost up to my knees, made it through that snow, and I looked down, my feet were like, the moisture, it was so cold out, froze, and it acted as a barrier, insulated my feet. My feet were fine. My shoes were frozen solid, but I finished the run another like 4 miles, and I called her.
Just
Yeah,
big
but-
old ice blocks.
Yeah.
I'm picturing like
Running down the
I'm
road.
picturing like a cartoon.
No, it wasn't
Yeah,
that bad, but,
But he calls me and he's like, "Did you see my snap?" And I was like, "No." So
I
then
did.
he hangs up. Yeah, and then I watched it. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, then I called him back and I was like, "Do I need to come get you?" Because that's like, what did Arrow even do the whole time? Just stand there and watch
I
you?
don't think she was with me. It was too
Really?
cold. I don't run with her when it's sub like 15
That's
degrees.
yeah.
But my first reaction when I got out of the water is like, you know, I got adrenaline. I'm like, okay, definitely almost died. But the first thing I do, look around and see if anybody saw that. 'Cause that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Had to look like.
Yeah.
But it
I'm
was
alive.
nighttime
I'm
Yeah.
too.
embarrassed now.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was pitch black too. That's another thing. There's no lighting over next to the
Yeah,
canal
you'd
where
been
I was.
screwed.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but you know, and like, it goes back to
Glad you made it.
Yeah, oh, me too.
Yeah.
Me
me
too.
too. You know, because I was running in 105-degree weather too. Like there's heat advisory out, and here I am. You know, and if she goes with me, I'll wear my plate carrier with plates in it. You know, it's not heavy, but it sucks to run in. It's more uncomfortable than it's heavy, I think. And just, I don't know. I've embraced that whole thing. You do hard things, it makes life easy. You know, I think comfort is evil. I really do, man. I think people want to be comfortable. People want to, you know, on a Friday night, do I want to be running in shitty weather, whether it's raining or snowing, or would I rather be sitting on the couch comfortable or drinking a beer? And,
Yeah, but it's almost like comfort is like the dangerous part of life
Yeah.
because if you're comfortable your whole life, you don't know what to do when things happen.
Yeah,
You're not prepared.
absolutely. And
That's how I feel like definitely.
I like to earn comfort.
That's how I feel about our society.
Yes.
Yeah.
I treat food like that as well, though. Like I eat like shit sometimes, but I generally try to earn it, you know. Or if I do eat like shit, or if I drink a little too much, I'm not a big drinker. But when I do, it's like next day, and I'll eat good, and I'll beat the shit out of myself physically because it's like, you know, I think people, society, as you're just getting at, like people need to embrace doing hard things, and I think there might be a
In this country, it's pretty easy.
yeah.
Even talking about and I talk about all of
Yeah.
the problems and the
Yeah.
you know, the hard things. The like New York State government definitely makes people's lives more difficult than they need to be.
Yeah.
But in the United States of America, like we got it pretty good.
We do.
It's pretty easy.
We do.
And if you don't go out to try and give yourself some,
Manufacture adversity if you don't. Yeah.
you gotta have some challenges. Like it is good for your character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably like that mentality has probably greatly prepared you for everything that you've gone
Yes.
through.
Oh my gosh, man! I
Your
don't
friend
know.
said something like
yeah,
that.
you know, I called one of my first people. I called. He was at Badillo. I'll call him out. He was on my podcast. He was the governor's helicopter pilot for Governor Cuomo for the state police.
Oh,
he
neat.
was my platoon sergeant. my one of my last.
I bet he's
units.
got stories.
And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, man, great guy, great friend. And you know, I called him up. It must have been a week or so after the accident, and his reaction, I loved it. He wasn't, you know, not that I minded people being like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to say. He's like, dude, I've been waiting for you to call me. He's like, I've been watching you. He's like, I've been watching you. He's like, he's like, you've been preparing for this, you didn't even know it. He's, you know, because I have been. It wasn't. I didn't go through what I went through, then start working out. I was running and doing things, and I don't know. I honestly, because of how broken the system is, you know, I was navigating for so long with like.
That's a whole other.
I almost don't even want. We'll be
Yeah.
another podcast for that, but
Yeah.
like. When you're going through adversity, which I say people, and I've said this on a podcast, I think with Carpinelli, like I don't know what's been more challenging to navigate the past few years in my life or navigating losing my kids. And like, how can anyone say that, right? Well, when you're going through adversity, that's completely preventable. Completely preventable. There's nothing I can do about the car accident, you know, like shit happens. But when you're going through things, and it makes me wonder how many people out there right now are going through things that are completely preventable. When you are, and people's lives are at risk, and nothing's happening, it drives you. I don't want to say drives you insane. I'm not saying I went insane. However, I was like, I had to do something, and my outlet was physical fitness.
Yeah.
And it very well could have been other things. I could have went down a path of bitterness and destruction, and hated everyone. But oh man.
But you're like 1 in a million. Most people are like, oh, let's start drinking alcohol or something to cope with it.
Well, and that's why
Like,
I wanted to
people are not like you.
sit here and do this, because it's like, what's more important than people just like turning something so negative into something positive, put a spin on it, and have conversations that are needed to be had so badly. And,
Well, I think that's where parenting comes into play hugely, because with Bradley now he sees how you're handling life, and that's like you can see his progress right now.
yeah.
You know, and parents I think are just like, they're not normally like how you are.
You know, that's a good thing to kind of dive into, is parenting. You know, you're a parent, and you know, there's so many.
3 times now.
Dude,
We had another one. I just saw you guys laugh.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Crap,
we got a
man.
little girl.
Congrats.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, how many parents, and you better not be one of those people, and I know you wouldn't ever be, but how many parents would just put a tablet in front of their kid, and then, you know, that tablet, that device essentially is raising these kids in a lot of situations. And it's, I get it, you know, sometimes it's easier, you know, occupy the little bastard for me, but no, but seriously, I think it's sickening. You know, you see families going out to dinner, and like they're all on their electronics and stuff. And you know, how many people don't, you know, with their families don't sit down and have dinner together. I think, you know, there's something about that, those American values and those things that you know, think that we've done for years that have kind of become history.
If
They're
we
so
talk about
important.
kids being bored, they're not bored anymore.
Boredom's so
And
important for
Your
creativity.
brain needs it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I say it to my kid all the time, like, dude, get off the phone, just look out the window.
I was just gonna say,
You know?
driving down the road.
You know, you don't have to have that dopamine hit 24/7. And I'm
Yeah.
guilty too. You know, I'm on my
Yeah.
phone a lot, and
Yeah.
I try to be pretty aware of it. And I'm sure you must do the same thing. You're on social media and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is it doing to people?
Yeah, but I check out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I walk in the door, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no military rank. There's
Yeah.
no title like I have here. Like there is just
Then you
the
report
job
to the
of
wife.
Dad.
like that.
I take off the suit, put on the
Yeah.
sweatpants, leave
Yep.
the phone upstairs, and then
Yeah.
I go down and I play.
Yeah.
Aw,
And
yeah.
just be present. Like
Yeah.
I have to leave the phone there because like I get the twitch like everybody else.
Yeah.
Like and
Yeah.
if it's in my it's in my pocket and I feel it buzz, I'm gonna be tempted to look at that text message.
Yeah.
See what kind of political emergency there is and
Yeah.
then handle it. And it's like, nah, I need to be fully engaged with
Dude,
these kids.
present. That's
need
that's I've learned more
life.
about being present, and it's a challenge. And
Yeah.
when you're present, you're able to be grateful for the now. That's the best.
That's all you have.
Oh my gosh, you know, that's one of my
I
biggest.
don't know what world on parenting. I don't know what world I'm raising them for.
Yeah.
That's what's
I know.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
I know.
It
I
is.
know. I think about it
Like
all
we
the time.
used to be able
Yeah.
to lean on older generations to just fully tell us like, hey, I've been through this. Here's what's coming. This is what's next. And here's the advice you need. And like right now, this stuff is happening so fast. And I'm
Yeah.
sure in history,
Not-
other
not like this.
other parents have
That's-
felt similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like this is a pretty like the world is changing.
Yeah.
And especially on the tech side of things.
Dude, it's changing at an exponential rate. Like there's going to be more changes in the next 5 years than they say in the past 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Very challenging for
insane.
education policy.
Yeah.
It's like what jobs are we preparing
Yeah.
our youth right now for? What job fields?
Yeah.
What careers?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
very tough. on education policy. Tough as a parent. Like, I know some of the great parental themes, and like, I don't want everything to be easy and comfortable for them. Like, whatever it is, I know I want to raise kids that are resilient.
Yeah, they can think for themselves and don't have to use AI and Google for everything. And
I certainly, and my wife gets all of the credit. She goes above and beyond and makes her life a lot more inconvenient for the way that she handles our kids to raise them, which is awesome. Like, you could hit the easy button on so many things, but we're not iPad parents, obviously. But yeah, aside from the general skill set, I don't know. That's a little bit of a stress of a parent right now, especially with young ones. I mean,
it's hard.
they're 4
or kids going to college
5
right now
months.
for things like, I think like, even, I won't say any names, but like people going through, like, say it's like radiology. I worked in the medical field as a systems engineer, and it's going to change the dynamic of the healthcare industry. Oh, that's another whole subject we could have went on to. It's going to change everything so rapidly. There's going to be no need for things that there were needs for. I mean, even look at like attorneys and stuff like that. I mean, what could you do? What could you not do with Gemini or any of these large language modules that an attorney is going to be able to do? It's not much. I mean, they're going to have a little bit more of an insight and be able to guide you.
You bring up attorneys. These are law books behind me.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
They actually stopped updating these a while ago. Like,
okay.
They're just kind of like office decorations. Some of the laws haven't changed though. So I pulled out public lands law the other day because that hasn't changed since like the 70s in the section that I was looking at. But your point on attorneys, like, you can pump this into AI and just say, hey, this law, make me a memo that says this. And that used to take a paralegal a lot of time. That would have to go into these books, research it, understand the case law behind it, and then put that same memo out. And now you're getting it in seconds. That job is done.
Yeah.
And you no longer need that body to do that task for you anymore.
Yeah, and to your point.
And there's a lot of that in every industry.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even, oh my gosh, in the tech industry now, I mean, automation right now, I mean, when I say it terrifies me, I don't only mean like, oh, I'm worried about the Terminator in the future. I mean, like, I'm worried about the job loss aspect of things, because like, what's gonna replace the massive job loss that's coming? And it's like, is everybody going to be dancing through? We were watching something, and like, is it going to be like this world where everyone's just enjoying themselves, or is it just going to be doom and gloom, and like nobody really knows?
No chance. Some people might want to just enjoy themselves. I don't.
Unless more people get into physical fitness.
I know that's not how you're wired.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how most humans are wired.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I don't know.
I think they're going to be like, what do I do?
If I didn't have to work, like, I'd be working on my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be outside.
Frolicking
through my
grass. It's built in 1815. It's renovated a bunch of times in between. Like, it is old. It is clunky. It is full of character. It's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome.
We love that it's our home, but every single bit of it needs
unlimited
work.
Yeah.
Like, people
gives you
ask,
purpose.
How's the house coming along? And I'm like, ask me in 20 years.
Yeah.
I'll still be working on
Yeah.
this thing. Like, it will always. So, like, for me, like, I'm always gonna find work, and I think it's.
Yeah.
I think like people are happier and better if they find meaningful work.
Yeah.
So even if some vocations go away, I think there's an opportunity for us as humanity, even if AI takes over so many things.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's find the most like meaningful human work for us to continue to do.
You just have to get them to think like that. It's like, we know working out's really good for us, but we have to get people to do it.
Yeah. Everybody finds employment that benefits the community type of thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? But hey, might as well stay optimistic. I'm hoping that's the way things do go.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I think I covered everything. Oh, we're at a little over an hour already. Holy crap, man! You touched upon something, and I wanted to dart in that direction. Oh, I was gonna say, being present when you mentioned that immediately makes me think back. I've talked about this mainly to her a lot. Like, that's one of I say regrets. I've always been pretty grateful. I've always been a very appreciative person. It's just the way I was raised. And I look at photos of like when I was with my kids, especially my late kids, and it's like I look at myself navigating these moments where it was something that's stupid and like not special at all. I mean, yes, it was special, is with my kids, but like something that was just a very mundane day. And I'm like looking at videos, because I take a lot of videos, a lot of pictures, and I'm like, I watch myself navigating these moments, and I'm like, man, I wasn't present. I wasn't, and I might have been. I just wasn't present enough.
Yeah.
But guess what?
But I think as human beings, we're always going to feel like we can't soak it in enough,
It's human
no matter
nature.
what it is.
I think we naturally take everything for
Yeah.
granted. I take her for granted. I take,
How dare you.
dude, everything. And it's one of those things though. We can all do our best. And I think that's why, like, when you hear stories of people going through losing their kids or losing their wives, and it's like, I hope you hugged your kids a little tighter after hearing about what we've navigated through,
100%.
and I navigate I hug my other kids more, and I've had so many people reach out to me and be like, dude, I look at my whole life differently after seeing what you've had to go through, and I think that's important, man. I
But
think
it's not just what you went through, it's how you're still navigating it.
Yeah.
It's your whole journey. It's not just the one thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of broken days in there, but I say I don't ever want to not be broken from what I went through. I always want to cry. Dude, I'm an emotional guy to begin with. I don't mind crying at all. And I try not to around people, especially if I'm like at work and stuff, 'cause I don't want people to feel bad for me.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a balance. Like I don't mind being emotional,
Yeah.
and I'm just about happy to cry at this point. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but dude, I
Such is
appreciate
life.
coming here. So this is cool.
It's
Oh,
nice
it was
to
the
be,
This is
coolest
really
thing.
cool.
it's nice to be present with you guys.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Yeah, and I'm glad I got to show you around the Capitol.
So cool.
This is
That's
neat.
awesome. I
I
can't wait to
am-
show our kids the pictures that we took because I want to show them.
I've
which is
never been
awesome.
one to like care about really going and seeing like sights and stuff. Like I'm more one to like go like do something outdoors and appreciate the outdoors. But we went to DC 2 years ago now, and it was when we recorded with Bernard Tony Jr., who said he could bring us into the White House. He's a U.S. diplomat. He was the Trump and Biden's medical officer. And,
Cool.
Coolest guy. So
but-
nice.
but we ended up touring DC while we were down there, and I was really impressed. But dude, seeing this Capitol, like this was
Beautiful.
right in line with that.
Yeah.
I think that Senate room was like the nicest room I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to overlay B-rolls of it while we're talking about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just words can't explain.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I want everyone to be able to look at everything here.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
You know?
Yeah.
I
And you
get
get to
to-
come here all the time.
I get to go there and
Yeah.
do my job. And it's easy. And a lot of times, like I'm preparing for debate. I'm going
Yeah.
to the bills that I'm voting on that day. I'm like really focused on the job.
Yeah.
But then there's moments where like I'll have the opportunity to just sit back and be like, this
Like, take it
place,
all
in.
this place
Yeah.
is cool, and I still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you? Because I hope you are. Because I've been trying to be easier on myself. Like I never in a million years, 2 years ago, would see myself coming here and talking to you or talking to people we've talked to. And it's like, do you ever
Yeah.
think to yourself like, holy shit, I'm a senator? Do you ever give yourself credit? Be
I chuckle like you just did. I'm like, what?
What is this?
how did this happen?
Actually, I was driving in the district with a staffer. We were headed to an event, and I'm like, if I could, we were talking about school policy actually,
Okay.
and how like they have this new portrait of a graduate thing where like early in high school you're going to kind of pick a career track, and I think it's kind of like. It's an interesting concept. We're always kind of redoing this model. There's always a new thing in education. It's a good thought experiment. We'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I could like talk to myself as a sophomore in high school and be like, I know what's gonna happen, dude. You're gonna be a state senator. Like that
Yeah.
guy would laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Yeah. No, yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
Like there's no
Yeah.
way, dude. Like
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Man. Yeah.
so yeah. But I love the job.
Yeah.
Like I
Cool.
love it. It's a good thing because this job, like it'll beat you up, and it's not
Oh, I
easy.
can
It's a lot of
imagine.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like being a dad. This is one of those interesting things. Like if I have an addiction, it's a workaholic. Like I will work myself to the absolute bone. It's created some success for me in life, cool, because I will out hustle, which is great. And I've always just been like a grinder. I will just work harder than anybody else that is like in the realm. But since being a dad, there is like there's like a pull away from that is like, all I want to do is go home. home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Can
Yeah.
I do that too? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, man, we're gonna have to do something like this again, and I'm sure we'll have more to talk about as time goes on, and we could talk all day long. Especially, I would have liked to went into healthcare more, but that's a whole podcast right there.
Yeah.
Sick care or healthcare. But
Sick care.
Yeah. I appreciate this, and
Big
we'll
time.
stay in touch, and looking forward to seeing where this goes. So
Thanks for coming to visit.
yeah.
Thank you for having us.
absolutely.
Showing us around.
Yeah.
I appreciate your buddy Sydney as well. Sydney's been great.
He's
Awesome.
catching up. Did you hear any of it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Cool.
Can I tilt this in the do you don't mind appearing?
There's Sydney.
This is Sydney. Hi, Sydney. He's what's your position again?
Legislative director.
Legislative director for Mark Walczyk. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
we appreciate it. Appreciate both
Yeah.
you guys. and
Everything.
We'll stay in touch. Thank you.